Thanks, Lee. And there's a jellyfish warning issued for our territory. Those Portuguese man-o-war jellyfish are now in our waters. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the details.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. John Fraschetti, what is going on with the beaches? What is safe and what's not safe? And how does this little guy pose a threat to swimmers and so forth?
Thank you for doing this awareness to the public. I'm with DPNR, Coastal Zone Management Division, and St. Croix 10 Marine Park, and we want to bring it out to the people of the Virgin Islands and to our visitors that this particular animal are in our waters this time of the year, and it is it's more of a precaution than anything else. It can be lethal in some cases. It causes histamines and anaphylactic shock. An antihistamine would be, of course, an appropriate response to it, as well as vinegar to stop the burning, because it is like a burning fire. And what it does, it fires pneumatocysts into you, and it causes a tremendous pain. In some cases, some people even lose the ability to swim. But it's just a matter of being precautious. In this bay here, because we have a reef in the front, the tentacles are much shorter, but they can get up to 150 feet.
That's amazing. And we just saw it off camera, how one of the tentacles had got a fish, a little fish on it. And it's amazing, Mother Nature. I mean, it looks so beautiful and colorful and everything. The first instinct is to go up and pet it and touch it.
It's another name for it is blue bottle, but it's the Portuguese man-o-war, and it actually does produce quite a sting. So you want to be very careful with it and not touch it. It's great to see. It actually travels with the wind, like that balloon is actually a sail, and it just travels through the waters, basically at the whim of the wind and the water currents.
Now, is this the season for these things, John?
Correct. Last month, this month, and the next month will be the highest. The peak will be at the end of this month, and people just need to be aware of it. If you see them in the water, get out of the water. If you see them on land, then you're okay.
Any beaches we should be particularly interested in staying away from, or just don't panic, but just keep an eye out for these guys?
Basically, keep an eye out for them is basically the best approach. If they're floating in the water, again, remove yourself from the water, because it's hard to tell how long the tentacles are.
All right, and talking about that, then, how did y'all just come across this then?
Well, we were, like I said, we're down here Friday and Saturday. We're having our share-a-thon. We're raising money for WIVH. And so we fly in to do that. It's live radio, and my wife here and I decided to just take a walk and just see what's on the beach and see what's going on, take a little swim maybe, and came across this.
And you helped them out. You like boxed it in for research.
Yeah, well, there was another guy from DPNR walking down the beach. He said, "This is perfect. Channel 8's doing a story on it." So we came by and we found a bucket on the beach there and bottled it up for him while he went off to find another bucket. So
you love the Virgin Islands, do you?
Oh, it's great down here. I love it.
Yeah, it's my first trip and it's beautiful. I love it, and I love nature. I'm an amateur biologist, so this just made my vacation. This
wonderful,
is pretty cool.
Wonderful. Well, you happen to be talking to a DJ as well. I'm on All 95 here once in a while, so it's a small world. And thanks for coming down and helping us out as we do our research with this little critter in back of me.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Random chance, you know.
Good luck
it's
with
great.
your share-a-thon.
Yeah, thanks. If anybody's interested, it's Friday and Saturday, May 15th and 16th on 90.1 FM. We'll be starting at 7 in the morning and going until 10 at night with live radio, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Sounds good. There you go. I got two stories in one, didn't I? Now back to you, John Fraschetti, and what's going to happen to this guy now?
Normally, that's exactly what happens is they come to shore and they die. They become part of the biota.
That's it, huh? You can't put them back out in the water and
do
save them?
It's not
you don't mess with nature's plan?
It's better to leave them alone. Again, it's just for our pleasure in viewing. But other than that, do not touch them, leave them. It's just the way it's supposed to happen.
And I guess your first instinct when you get a burn from these guys is to put cold water on it. And that's a no-no, isn't it?
Fresh water actually reactivates the pneumatocysts, and the stinging will continue with fresh water. Salt water is a good to remove it, and because it does leave a bit of a slime as well. But seek immediate help. Get some vinegar if you can, yes. And of course antihistamines, which is Benadryl is one of them, and that is recommended to be taken because of the histamines.
Thank you very much. John Fraschetti from DPNR and Coastal Zone Management, and these lovely people here on their share-a-thon. Here at Great Pond, watch out for that little guy. He looks pretty, but he's dangerous. He'll sting you. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And your Caribbean report is coming up next after the break. Stay with us on News Channel 8. Welcome back, and now it's time for your Caribbean Report. Caracas, Venezuela. President Hugo Chavez said that Venezuela will be capable of exporting 3 million barrels of crude oil a day to China, an 8-fold increase on current levels. Last year, they topped 380,000 barrels a day, and they have signed a deal to soon reach 1 million mark. Also in Venezuela, the benchmark bonds fell to a one-week low on concerns of Hugo Chavez's seizure of assets at 60 oil-field service companies that will prompt foreign investors to shun Latin America's big crude exporter. This is quite concerning, said an emerging market strategist. And in Havana, Cuba, the Prime Minister of Barbados, David Thompson, arrived in Cuba on Monday morning for a 3-day official visit to the invitation of the Cuban counterpart Raul Castro. In a brief statement to reporters at the airport, Barbados' leader said that he expected to strengthen the bilateral relations between the two countries. And the Caribbean Report travels all the way to Brussels, Belgium, where the EU should swiftly normalize ties with Cuba. In the bloc's development commissioner, Louis Michel, urged Monday, despite persistent European concerns over human rights abuses. The EU foreign minister will take their next look at relations with Havana, Cuba, when they meet again in June. And that's your Caribbean Report for this week. And gas prices are on the rise again. News Channel 8's Wes Small brings us more.
Well, as you can see behind me, the gas prices are inching back on up. Almost at $2, $1.99 here, and we're in a state welcome. Actually, these are one of the most expensive gas stations as we approach the East End. Seems like the price per gallon kind of goes up and up. But according to Alex Moorhead, who is Hovenza's vice president for government affairs, he says Hovenza has increased its rate on regular gas by 8.5 cents per gallon and premium by 14.5 cents a gallon. Now, how Hovenza calls its wholesale prices the rack rate. And it is the cost of fuel purchased directly from the refinery's truck loading station on St. Croix. Independent gas station operators on St. Croix buy their gas at the loading station, and then they resell it to their customers. I could just tell you this, that as we approach the summer, nationally, the gas is starting to rise. That should be no surprise to you, as the national average approaches $2.23 a gallon for unleaded. Now, here in our territory, especially here in St. Croix, we're a little more fortunate. As I told you, gas prices are starting to rise, and we can probably expect the gas prices to go up. Now, based on the adjustments made on May 6 recently, St. Croix operators are now paying $1.54 per gallon for regular and $1.70.5 for premium when they buy fuel wholesale at Hovenza. And this adjustment is the 4th time this year that Hovenza has increased their wholesale fuel prices. So basically, it could be a time for us to conserve fuel once again as we approach Memorial Day and the 4th of July, and we go into the hot summer months in the United States. I think we can pretty much expect gas to go up on the rise. So do the right thing. Don't use your air conditioning unless it's absolutely necessary. Don't go places that you don't have to normally go, and try to knock out 2 or 3 things in one route or something like that. I tried to contact Acting Commissioner Biggs from Licensing and Consumer Affairs, but his assistant told me that he's pretty busy now getting prepared for tomorrow's testimony hearings with the Virgin Islands Senate. So he's doing his prep work, so he couldn't come out with us in the field or tell us about these prices going up. I also want to talk to him about a scam that is involved on the internet involving licensing in consumer affairs and how they can warn you about that scam. Perhaps I'll get with him later in the week for that, Jerome. For now, gas is inching its way back up, so beware. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And Acting Commissioner Novell Francis wants to remind everyone that those toy guns talked about earlier have resurfaced once again. Here's a picture of one now. These toy guns look very real and can put your child in extreme jeopardy if found or seen with. So please, parents, we want to urge you, from all of us here at News Channel 8, to keep an eye on your children's toys.